What's up, guys? Welcome to G Whiskey. My name is Jeff. This is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on specific whiskey, and once in a while I'll throw in other whiskey-related content. Today we're going to be going over the OSWAs, or the Online Scotch Whisky Awards. I'll be going through the winners and giving you my take on it. Stick around. Alright, so we're going through this year's OSWAs, 2022 OSWAs in this video, and that means a couple things. Number one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to sort of go through the winners, which I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, and then I'm going to go through the nominees in terms of my personal preference, how I would have ranked them, and finally I'll tell you which bottle I put forward for each of the categories. Some of the bottles that I put forward that I suggested this year didn't make it through to the nominations. Others did but didn't win, and one or two in there actually did make it through and they did win. So it's been a real roller coaster this year. Yeah. And obviously this video isn't me saying the OSWAs got it wrong. It should have gone down this way. I'm totally disappointed. Obviously the OSWAs is democratic. I thought it went great this year. This is just one of those reaction videos that us YouTubers love to do. Also, there were plenty of bottles this year that were either nominated or that won that I haven't tried. And I'm not really in a position to talk about those. So anything that I just don't know about, I'm going to leave out. And there is a lot that I don't know. Just ask my girlfriend. So yep, just for fun. And as always, stick around to the end of the video. I've got a mystery pour in my glass over here. It's an excellent whiskey. It's something that I think should have been nominated in one of the categories this year, but didn't make it through. So I'll let you know what that is a little bit later. And I guess that's all of our bases covered, so let's jump into my reaction of the 2022 OSWAs Online Scotch Whisky Awards. And in the meantime, if you could kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. So our first category was Best Value Whiskey of 2022, and here are the winners. The bottle that I put forward didn't make it through to the nominations, so I'll let you know what that is in a little bit. First, I'm going to tell you how I would have ranked these whiskeys if it were up to me. My first pick would have been Kilkerran 12. I think it's an amazing whiskey. It really impressed me this year, especially the newer bottlings. My second pick would have been the whiskey that actually took first place. I would have gone for Arran 10. And I know some of you were a little bit disappointed that it won again this year. I know some of you thought it was a little bit repetitive. The thing about Arran 10 is that it is consistently really good whiskey. So I don't actually have a problem with them winning again this year. If they win again next year, they'll probably deserve it then too. Although it would be nice to spice things up a bit. Next up in third place, I would have had the Glencadam 10. Fourth, I would have put forward the Ledaig or Ledaig 10. Fifth, I'd probably have gone for Bunna 12, which I think is still a classic. I don't buy it as much anymore, but really love that whiskey. We go way back. And finally, in last place, I'd have had the Loch Lomond 12. Listen, I like the Loch Lomond 12. It's not a bad whiskey, but I didn't connect with it in the same way a lot of you seem to. So, what was my pick for Best Value Whiskey this year? Well, it's not going to surprise any of you. This is a whiskey that I always talk up on the channel. I went with Craigellachie 13. And I do realize there's probably a few of you out there that are tired of hearing me talk up this bottle. We are going to have a new whiskey of the year very, very soon, so stay tuned. And after that, I'll probably cool it with the Craigellachie stuff. But if you haven't tried Craigellachie 13, check it out. It's excellent. Our next category was blends, and our winners looked like this. Now the problem here is that I don't have a lot of insight or experience into any of the whiskeys on this category or in this category. I have more experience with blended malts, which got its own category this year, rightly so. But for malt and grain blends, of the nominees, I've literally only had Nikka from the barrel, and ironically that's the one that won, so good for Nikka. Our next category is blended malts. Here are the winners. The bottle that I put forward didn't make it through the nominations, which is unfortunate. Of the nominees that did make it through, I've actually only had half of these. So this one's a little bit tough too. Of the nominees we've got here, I've only had Johnnie Walker Green, Compass Box Peat Monster, and Timorous Beastie Meet the Beast. The rest I can't find. I'd love to try them. The bottle I put forward was another Timorous Beastie offering. I put forward the Timorous Beastie 18. I thought it was an excellent whiskey. I actually much preferred that to the Timorous Beastie Meet the Beast. But alas, life. Thing about this category is that I don't really have any strong opinions here. Like I said, I've had the green, I've had the Peat Monster, I've had Meet the Beast. All of them are fine. None of them really blew me away. I thought they were solid enough whiskeys, but I don't really have any strong opinions about them. And yeah, I'm gonna skip this category. Our next category is non-malt whiskey. Here are the winners. Now, the bottle I put forward did actually make it through to the nominations, and it did actually win. The bottle I put forward was the Redbreast 12 Cask Strength. Beautiful whiskey, definitely deserved the win there. Next up, from the ones I've tried on this list, at number 2, I'd have Wild Turkey Rare Breed. At number 3, Four Roses Single Barrel. And at number 4, Wild Turkey 101. But listen, as far as I'm concerned, it's a pretty big jump between number 1 and number 2. I don't have a problem with bourbons, but next up, we've got Best Distillery. Here are our winners, and finally, we're back to a category where I can actually say I know what I'm talking about here. I have had all of these brands, and the brand that I put forward as Best Distillery did actually make it through to the nominations. First up, I want to start by talking about the winner this year, which was Springbank Distillery. This is a brand that I might have put forward myself as Best Distillery. They're definitely one of my favorite brands, and as many of you know, there's availability issues right now. And the issue with them is that I just don't really see their whiskeys as attainable anymore. So really, in a perfect world, I might have put Springbank forward myself as Best Distillery of the Year. And I know they can't change the rules. People voted it in, so it is going to be the winner. But if it were up to me, if I was making my own rules, I'd make them an honorable mention, something like that. Yeah, what are you going to do with Springbank? People can't buy it. Anyway, Springbank ran aside. What I would have picked for Best Distillery this year was Bruichladdich. I love the Bruichladdich line. I love the classic laddie. Of course, I love PC, PC10, their experimental cask range. Everything they put out this year has been excellent. They're transparent, they're naturally presented, they're delicious. Behind Bruichladdich, I'd have Arran, then I'd have Ardnamurchan, then I'd have Glen Scotia, and finally Loch Lomond. Some stiff competition, all of these are good. Our next category is Best New Distillery. The winning order is here. I put forward Ardnamurchan 1, which is surprising to absolutely nobody. They're bottling magic. Aside from that, I've only tried Bimber and Raasay. I'd have Bimber at number 2, Raasay at number 3. I've never tried anything from Torvaig or Glasgow Distillery or Cotswolds. Again, that's an availability issue. I hope to eventually, but there you go. Next up, we've got IBs. Here's the winning order. I put forward Signatory. Signatory 1, it's a solid brand. There are 2 in here that I haven't tried. I haven't tried North Star, and I haven't tried anything from Thompson Brothers. I hear they're good. Can't access them. We also had Gordon and MacPhail. There was Adelphi, SMWS. I've had all of those. Of course, IBs can be all over the map, but they're all pretty solid brands. I don't really have any order of preference there. Our next category is World Whiskeys. These are the winners. Of these, I've literally only had 2. I've had the Kavalan Vino Barrique, and I've had the Redbreast 15. I put forward the Kavalan. I love that one, but that was kind of selfish. Kavalan is only about USD 100 in my market, so it's very affordable. I know it isn't for most of you. So again, my pick was kind of selfish. I totally see why the Redbreast 15 one. I love Redbreast myself. I think it deserves it. But funny, all these categories, the deeper we get into this list, the more I realize there is so much whiskey, popular whiskey, that I don't know, that I've never tried. So I guess the big takeaway is I need to drink more. And finally, we're moving on to the big one. This is the Best Single Malt category. This is the big one. I literally just said that. There's no value constraints, price constraints, no real constraints at all here. You guys can just pick what you think is the best whiskey of the year. Here are the winners. People seem to really love the Glen Scotia Victoriana this year, and it's a good whiskey. I reviewed it recently. I'll link it up there. I really liked it. I think the win is well enough deserved, but it would not have been my first pick. My first pick is obviously going to be the bottle that I put forward. I would have gone with Lejeune 18. Some pretty stiff competition here, but next up, I'd probably have gone for a Knock 18, followed by Ardnamurchan Cask Strength, followed by Glen Scotia Victoriana, and then I'd have Bunnahabhain 12. As for the Kilkerran 16, I haven't tried it, so no comment. So that's it, guys. That's my reaction to the 2022 Online Scotch Whisky Awards. That's how I would have done things if it were up to me, which it wasn't, and nobody asked, but I made a video about it anyway. You're welcome. And of course, I've got a question I want to put out to you guys. How did you feel about this year's OSWAs? Who did you vote for? What were your picks? How do you feel about the results? Do you think it went well? Do you have any criticisms? Let me know down below. Finally, I know some of you stuck around to find out what my mystery pour is in the glass here, and what I've got is Ichiro's Malt and Grain. As far as I'm concerned, this one should have made it into the best blend category. I like it more than I like our Nika from the barrel, and I do like the Nika, but that Ichiro's is special stuff, and I do recommend it. And I guess that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to help support the channel, please consider becoming a patron. Otherwise, you can like, comment, and subscribe. That's always appreciated. You can let me know what you want to see me review in the future, and I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.